Let us look into the microscopic features of colon. I am grateful to Dr. Michael Horsch of University of Michigan Medical School for providing me with the images of histology sections. As colon forms a part of the large intestine, it shows the three characteristic external features of large intestine, namely the presence of Taenia coli, hostrations, and appendices epiploicae. Taenia coli are the three longitudinally condensed bands of smooth muscle seen in the outer longitudinal layer of muscularis externa. And based upon their position, they are called as Taenia libera, Taenia ommentalis, and Taenia mesocolica. Hostrations are saculations present in the wall of the large intestine. They represent the site of exchange of smooth muscle between longitudinal and circular layers of muscularis externa. Appendices epiploicae are the macroscopic fat-filled pouches of peritoneum. They are most abundant on the surface of sigmoid colon. Wall of the colon shows the same four layers of gut, that is, from inside outward, they are mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. Mucosa is smooth here, showing no plicae or villi, and it consists of lining epithelium, intestinal glands, lamina propria, and muscularis mucosae. Lining epithelium is made of simple columnar cells, goblet cells, and occasional M cells where the solitary lymphatic follicles come close to the surface. Large intestine serves basically two functions: absorption of water and electrolytes from the content of lumen and elimination of undigested food. Absorption of water and electrolytes is achieved by the columnar absorptive cells with their surface microvilli as well as sodium-potassium ATPase proton pumps. Elimination of waste is helped by the abundant mucus which is secreted by the numerous goblet cells present here. In fact, number of goblet cells increase fourfolds from the cecal end of the large intestine to the rectal end. A third type of caveolated tuft cells have been described close to the surface, but they may be the exhausted goblet cells. Mucosa also contains numerous long, straight, tubular intestinal glands which open on the surface of the lumen. Intestinal glands or crypts are lined by low columnar absorptive cells and numerous goblet cells. Few stem cells and enteroendocrine cells are also found close to the base of the gland, but Paneth cells are absent in the large intestine. Lamina propria is made of connective tissue, but in case of large intestine, it shows certain additional features. One, it shows the presence of pericryptal myofibroblast sheath around these intestinal glands, and these fibroblasts will differentiate into macrophages as they migrate towards the luminal surface. Second feature is the presence of collagen table deep to the basal lamina of the gland. It contains collagen fibers as well as proteoglycans, and this collagen table regulates the absorption of water as well as electrolytes. In certain pathological conditions, this layer may become thicker, like in case of hyperplastic colonic polyps. In addition, within the lamina propria, we can see occasional solitary lymphatic follicles, but unlike in small intestine, very few lymphatic vessels are found here. Muscularis mucosae is similar to that of small intestine. So also the submucosa, which is similar to what we find elsewhere in the gut, in that it is made up of connective tissue, blood and lymphatic vessels, adipose tissue, and Meissner's plexus of nerves. Muscularis externa has an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layers. Smooth muscle in the outer longitudinal layer is aggregated into three longitudinal bands called as Taenia coli. Elsewhere, this layer is very thin. Serosa is variable in extent, but again it resembles the serosa found elsewhere in the gut. It covers the entire circumference of cecum, appendix, transverse and sigmoid colons. But serosa is replaced by adventitia in case of posterior wall of ascending and descending colons, where the wall of the colon contacts the body wall. Serosa also shows presence of appendices epiploicae, which, as stated earlier, are the fat-filled pockets of peritoneum. So, quickly recalling what we have seen so far, wall of the colon shows the same 4 layers of gut: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. Mucosa is lined by columnar absorptive cells and goblet cells. It shows numerous long tubular intestinal glands. Lamina propria shows pericryptal myoepithelial sheath and collagen table around the intestinal glands. Muscularis externa shows 3 aggregated bands of smooth muscle called as tinea coli, which is seen in outer longitudinal layer. Muscularis mucosae, submucosa, and serosa are very similar to what we find elsewhere in the gut. At places, serosa is replaced by adventitia. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the video. You can visit this site for other similar histology videos.